Hi everyone, it's Allison from Fathom 5 Tarot, and I'm here to do a week ahead reading, just super quick. So today is the 31st of January, so this is the 31st to the 6th. As always, take what works for you, just disregard what doesn't. It's just a general reading for the collective. And today I'm going to be using a new deck to me that I just got this week, Le Tarot de Marseille. So this is a pretty groovy deck in that I don't really read Marseille. But it uses that art style to fill out the minors. So while the majors are Marseille style, the minors are in Rider-Waite-Smith, but in the same art style. You'll see when I get there. It came a little bit dinged up, but I don't care. What I care a little bit more about, and you should know if you get this deck, is so this is like fine, I can correct this, but to do it, they're all found out. Let's try and put them all together. It's definitely got a bow. Listen to that. It's so loud. Now, I've been told this is because I riffle shuffled this deck when I got it, and I shouldn't do that. But dude, they're cards. Let me riffle shuffle my shit. Oh, sorry. I'll put a warning. I don't usually swear on these videos, but I do swear in real life, so there we go. I like riffle shuffling is my thing. I don't always, if the cardstock is definitely too thick, then I don't mind hand over handing, but this cardstock is not that thick, so it should be fine. I don't know what it is about it that made it so difficult to work with. I'm hoping that by continuing to riffle shuffle it, it'll loosen up and get better and not worse. So I'm gonna do it now. But first I have to, it's a real job. And I didn't think it was going to be when I first shuffled it. It seemed fine. No. But it doesn't matter because it's beautiful. It's a lovely deck and I love it. So let's see what it has to say for us this week. When I did an interview spread with this deck, it was very cups, very emotional. There was a star in there. So I like that. Got a jumper right off the bat. Nothing like watching a video for some dead air time while I shuffle, huh? So I realized I shouldn't be leaning on the table because it makes the computer jiggle. Okay, I got a couple jumpers there. So we're gonna have 4 cards today because they all wanted to come out. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so I've arranged them sort of in a cross pattern in the order that they came out. So the first card that came out was Temperance. Isn't that beautiful? Nine of Swords. So you can see here what I'm saying about the minors and the art style. The Seven of Swords. Swords. Seven of Wands. And Three of Cups on the other side. So again, what I've done is I've arranged them in a cross pattern based on how they came out of the deck. Temperance on the left, Nine of Swords above the Seven of Wands in the middle, Three of Cups on the right. So you got something on your mind. You've got some worries, right? If these are the central cards of our spread, there's something you feel like you need to protect yourself from, some sort of nightmare that you're worried about, something that's keeping you up at night, something that has you having your guard up, maybe feeling like you're being attacked from different sides. But what I find so interesting about these cards is that the outside force in both is unseen, right? So if we take the Nine of Swords, right, again, this implies the image of a nightmare, something that wakes you up or keeps you up at night. But we don't get to see exactly what that is. And often nightmares are just like brain garbage, right? Like pulling in different disparate parts of your life, and it doesn't make sense. There's this comedian, oh, I'm going to just forget his name now. Shoot. Unfortunately, he passed away. I cannot believe I can't remember his name. Hopefully it'll come to me. Mitch Hedberg. He had this great joke about dreaming. He said, I love to sleep, but I hate dreaming because dreaming feels like work. You should be resting, but all of a sudden you have to build a go-kart with your ex-landlord, which is so funny. But in this case of the nightmare, is it logical? Does it make sense? Is your brain making more of it than it is? Is it something that's a real threat to you? And same thing in a way with the Seven of Wands, although it's a much more active card, actively fighting off. There's not that sleep imagery. But we don't see what the threats are. And we don't see, like, are these just wands in the ground? Are they actually being held? They're all coming from one side, but nothing coming from the other. It's really interesting to me because there are other cards where the threats are they're illustrated on the card. They're right there. So is it everything you're making it out to be in your head, or are you letting your head spin and sort of get overwhelmed in these two cards by the issues that you are facing? And the reason I think maybe your issues are getting blown up again in this very stressful time, it's totally normal to let your head spin and kind of go out of control, is look at what you're surrounded by in the reading, right? Temperance, right? Which says to me, that was the first card out of the deck that says, okay, these are real things that are worrying you, and worry in itself is a problem. Anxiety is a problem, but let's just take a moment and really examine them here. What is worth being worked up about? What can we kind of let go of or take steps to relieve? And maybe those steps are in the people around you, right? The people around you who are there to support you. Maybe you don't think they'll be there. Maybe they're hard to access because of the pandemic. But this is a way that you can balance out those anxieties, those nightmarish worries, those fears maybe that you have. And this seems to me to be a real message to you. There's probably people that you have just stopped reaching out to because it's pandemic time and we're all in our house, and how many Zooms can you have and blah, blah, blah. But is there someone who has been that person to you that you could just reconnect with a little bit this week, that you could lean on in that way to help you sort out some of your anxieties, some of your worries, just talk them through, or not? Just know that they're there. Send a little message and say, I miss you and I love you and you're great. And do you want to talk about anything? This would probably be a really great week to do that. As we move into Imbolg, it's a time of renewal. It's a time of restirring of things after the cold winter. Maybe there's a friend or a support system that you can restir to help you deal with these things, right? And as you're dealing with these things, it can be very easy to be overwhelmed. So remember this. There you go. I hope you find that helpful and that it means something to some of you. I hope you have a wonderful week. Wear a mask, stay safe, stay home, and stay healthy. We'll talk to you soon.